So, we have a new player in the skeptic trademark community, and that is a man named Smartass Bird. Who is he? Well, he used to be known as Super Funny Bros. However, I'm just gonna call him Mr. Bird for the rest of this video. Or Bird or something. Now, this man got into some controversy when he made a video, since this man, Mr. Bird, is an openly gay man, entitled I'm Gay, and I'm Not Oppressed. So, already going for the Naked Ape Milo Yiannopoulos audience, of being that one token gay guy in the skeptic community. I'm just saying, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. You know? And of course, the skeptic trademark community is going to use videos like this by people like this to prove that they aren't homophobic, because why would a gay guy be in support of them? But of course, whenever a man disagrees with them, well, they're just some kind of S-Jew, right? But Mr. Bird here knows that homophobia is just a thing of the past, as you can see by the fact that he needed to create a GoFundMe in order to get his boyfriend out of a extremely homophobic household. Wait a minute. These two things kind of directly contradict each other. But okay, maybe he only means on an institutional level, on the level of government. Well, okay. So, on the level of government, then are gay people typically oppressed? I'd argue no, not really. In the United States, however, well, we'll continue on in a minute. He does actually address this point, however, makes the claim that it leads people to think gays are oppressed. So basically, homophobia is really bad because you'll have a bunch of SJW liberal kids running around thinking that homophobia may still exist. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Now, Mr. Bird also does acknowledge that while the United States and a good amount of Europe are the best, there are still many places that have rampant homophobia. Take, for example, Muslim countries, such as, off the top of my head, we'll say Uganda, where there's a bill that was basically called the Kill Gays Bill. Wait a minute, Uganda's actually mostly Christian, so... The truth is, it is religious extremism and bigotry. It's not specifically Muslim extremism, and while Muslims are more likely to contribute such behaviors, we can't purely say it's Muslim, it's just fundamentalist. But, you know, saying that may not get you those anti-S-Jew shekels. See what I did there? Now, okay, fine. So we've established that. But of course, the United States government has no role in that. So, which is why take a country like Saudi Arabia, for instance, where gays are executed. Obviously, we in the United States are blockading them endlessly, right? Putting constant sanctions on them, basically making them a hermit country. Wait a minute, no we're not. In fact, we're actually really close with the Saudis, and constantly provide them things like chemical weapons, which they later use to bomb Yemen. But okay, when the United States is forced to really stand up for its principles, because Saudi Arabia, they have like all this oil and stuff, then, okay. However, let's say there's a UN resolution that would simply condemn the death penalty for the LGBT people living in Muslim countries. Not outright ban even, just condemn it. the United States, in their principled progressivism, would obviously vote against such a thing. Because they did. I just covered it today. This isn't like me digging up some story from 1957 or even 1997 or 2007. This is a story that happened today as I'm recording this. Or that I found today. It's actually about 4 days old, but that's still not much better. Whoops. Now, Mr. Bird also addresses the gay wedding cake thing, which is currently about 2 years old. But okay. He basically says that corporations would never do that because they'd be missing out on profit. Which sounds good if you just read a Milton Friedman book and now your brain is so big you can sit on it. However, it falls apart when you take to realize there's been segregation in the private sector before. Do I need to remind you about Southern 1960s? Do I? I feel like I kind of need to. Segregation does exist in the private sector. And anyone who is trying to tell you otherwise is at best misinformed, or just completely speaking in theory. I mean, the rest of the video is perfectly fine. It makes some valid arguments. However, he also brings this weird thing about some social justice warriors saying that white gay people are depressed because of Milo Yiannopoulos or something. It's kind of confusing, but I think I got what he was saying, emphasis on think. And he is correct in that regard, that that's a stupid point. Good thing only about 5 people are making it. But okay, this video got some backlash. It currently sits at 9 likes and 27 dislikes. That's a ratio of about 1 to 3. And as of such, some people also commented on it. This includes a now deleted comment from Mr. Bird himself, making the claim that the people who disliked the video just already hated him. Yes, it is actually part of our big social justice warrior conspiracy. Little known fact. Now, of course, some of the ones that are still up include things like this. Yes, Mike Pence is a relatively anti-gay history, but he can't really do anything about it. Even if he happens to become president, if Donald Trump dies in office, God, I hope that doesn't happen, do I need to state that Trump is pro-LGBT? He was made clear about it in one of his speeches. He is also currently trying to instate a ban on transgender military members, and has actually passed that ban, may I add. As well as, well, let's look at some of the people he supported, such as Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, who believes in discrimination. Wait. Yeah, something free market, my bad. Or how about Neil Gorsuch, his Supreme Court pick, who is, well, anti-gay marriage. That's provable. But then there's this. When somebody told him that, yeah, Muslim countries still do this, there are still countries in the world that do this, he responds with, I know it's not over. I didn't say it's time to not do anything to keep the monument going. I'm saying it's over because, as far as I've seen, nothing can significantly reverse everything we fought for. The Supreme Court has struck down things before, you know. And I'm going to say this once and only once. I am not right-wing. I am center. Some things I'm conservative about, and things I'm liberal about. Okay, I guess that's a fairly healthy view on the world. But all I can think of is this tweet I once saw from this guy, I think his name's like @Drill or something. Just, I'm not owned. I'm not owned. I continue to insist as I slowly shrink and transform into a corn cob. I'm Ephrom, and good night.